Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Stahls TV Morning Show. I'm Courtney.
I'm Jenna.
And we're excited to have you guys here with us today. If you joined Courtney and I last week, we actually talked a lot about different trends in decoration that are happening right now in spring and summer. We talked about some sales opportunities with that. If you didn't see that, you can see it on the recorded videos on Facebook or on our YouTube channel for Stahls TV to catch that episode. But today, Jenna's joining me, and we're going to share some trends in actual blank garment styles. And so we reached out to some blank apparel suppliers, so Cavio, Boxercraft, and Sanmar were nice enough to send us some of their latest styles, some things that are new and trending, and really give us some unique insight, I think, into the blank apparel market and some ways that you guys can sell apparel. And so we're really excited to share that with you guys today. So to kick off our episode, as always, we're going to share our look of the week this week. And so this one actually was emailed to us by Tammy at Quilting Bean Services. And Tammy had actually a really great story with this. We thought with Mother's Day just happening yesterday, we thought this is a great look to share with you guys. And she had actually created this for her daughter. So she's got a nice occasion to kind of commemorate this with. And we see a lot of these shirts happening right now with being able to decorate for expectant mothers or announcement shirts. And so it's a great way when you add that personalization and that touch with heat transfer vinyl. And so that was some glitter flake and fashion film in that design there. So just funny with a little baby popping out.
Yeah, it's so precious.
I know not long ago I didn't have much womb either in there. So that's a great and exciting design there. We appreciate Tammy sharing that with us and sharing kind of the inspiration behind that. We love whenever the inspiration is something that's a little bit personal. It always makes that item so much more special.
Right.
So if you haven't submitted your looks of the week with us, we always recommend that you either email them to us at tv@stahls.com. You can always participate Saturdays in our Facebook page at the Stahls Show and Tell. So Stahls All Things Heat Printing is that page. And then also tag us on Instagram with at Stahls TV. And we always check out the looks there and pick them from a variety of those items. And we appreciate everybody sharing those with us as well.
Absolutely.
So what do we have this week for Make It Monday? I think you're celebrating that.
We are going to be pressing a beach tote. So with some CAD cut glitter flake and flock, so pretty excited about that. So
perfect for summer, so we'll head over there.
Yep. Right, so as I mentioned, we're going to be applying a beach tote. We're going to have my 10 loaded on here. I'm going to show you the style of tote bag printing today. So actually a very easy for applying heat transfer vinyl too. To load this on so that I'm getting so we have some inside parts to avoid. So we're not printing that side because we don't want any of the zippers to pop through and create an uneven surface. So just be sure to avoid that whenever you're printing items like these. And I'm just going to load this on here, get it nice and centered and flat. Make sure the straps are off and we're getting a nice surface there. So I'm going to test my pressure here since I loaded in a different plat. And we're at a good pressure. We're at a medium. So we're good there. And I also did a quick preheat since this is an item that can be sent through the washer and dryer. So we're going to release any moisture or wrinkles in that fabric to avoid any of this falling off in the wash cycle. So I'm just going to apply my flock. This is going to apply at 320 degrees for 15 seconds. And just keep in mind whenever you're choosing different styles of tote bags that we're using something that has a material fabric that is easy to heat apply. So I'm just going to wait for this to cool a little bit since our flock is a warm to cool pill. And to speed up that process, I'm just going to lay it on a cool surface so that the heat will release from this a little quicker. Okay. And whenever my transfer is cool to the touch, I can go ahead and peel this back. Still didn't get enough there, so just going to apply that again for a couple seconds. Increase my pressure a little bit. And again, I'm just going to place this down on something cool to speed up this cool down process. Removing it from that bottom platen is going to release the heat a little bit quicker since this is still a little hot from the application. All right, seems like we're getting a good adhesion over here, so I can go ahead and peel this back. And then whenever I apply my glitter flake with this, it's going to get another application, so that transfer is going to stick down nice and easy. Okay, so I'm just going to take the glitter flake and place it in with the rest of the transfer there, making sure I have it on the platen. So I'm just going to move this down a little bit to make sure this top area is getting a flat surface and not falling off the platen. And I'm going to use my cover sheet for this application since I have some heat transfer vinyl still exposed. And my glitter flake is going to apply at 320 degrees for 10 to 15 seconds. And glitter flake is a hot peel, so as soon as I lift this up, I can go ahead and peel that carrier back. Right. And we have our completed custom tote bag that is perfect for the beach. All right, and a wholesale boutique offers a bunch of different styles of tote bags, so be sure to visit that website and check out all the different styles that you can customize with heat transfer vinyl. And that concludes the week of Make It Monday, so we'll go ahead and head back to the morning show.
Thanks, Jen. I love that look. I think Memorial Day is only a couple weeks away, so that is perfect. The beach is going to be calling a lot of people here shortly.
Yeah, absolutely.
So just another way to sell personalized apparel this summer. Of course, we're going to share more ideas at the end of the month in our live class for 10 ways to grow your summer sales with your heat press. And so that's just one great option. And that tote bag, which was from Wholesale Boutique,
correct,
I think you said, has that faux leather on it. So that 8x10 platen really made it absolutely perfect for getting that faux leather, which you kind of have to be worried about it under a high heat scorching without a cover. And so we were able to get that off of the platen when we went to the 8x10. And you could always cover it with a cover sheet like a flexible application pad over the leather parts if you weren't able to isolate that print area.
Yeah, absolutely.
So great tips there, great design, we love it. So that's Make It Monday for this week. So it's time to dive into our main episode this week, which is a lot of fun, colorful, trendy garments. So I'm going to kick off a little bit with some of the stuff that Kavio had sent. If you joined Courtney and I last week, we had shared a Pantone swatch colors, and we talked a lot about bringing some of those bright colors in throughout your design. We showed things in the Easy View Designer and CAD Cut materials that would work for that. And Kavio actually does it from a blank standpoint. And so a lot of those colors that we saw on that chart, the lapis blue, some of the bright shiny yellows, this kind of stuff, which I have actually pulled some of their infant garments for this, but you can get the coloring throughout different items. You can see they're bringing these fun, very bright, colorful shades into the palette that you would decorate on, and that just creates a really fun design. And then a lot of these colors bringing together mints and pinks and salmon into some of these fringe type shirts. Just to create some fun summer stuff, and this is perfect for summer, whether it's dance camps or cheer camps or just fun summer designs for the beach and for vacations. These shirts are absolutely perfect for pairing together over a swimsuit this summer.
Yeah, I agree. And these are actually perfect for that bohemian chic trend that's very popular. It has the pastel colors that are a little bright, but still not as bright as the blue and the yellow that we saw earlier. So it really fits into that market very well.
Yeah, and I think if you're decorating them, you know, you want to throw another bright color on there for summer, because we see that so popular, especially with cheer and children's apparel. We see them mixing together of a bright garment with another neon shade, and so I might put one of the fluorescent glitter flakes on some of these bright colors, or even sometimes just going understated with a white is a good idea as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
For that type of thing. And then one thing that Kavio does really well, and I think we've shared it here on the morning show, is while we're featuring their girls and their late infant garments on here, what they do is they actually also have these all the way up through their juniors line. And so if you're carrying a line of apparel and you want to show these trendy blanks across multiple age groups, especially for maybe dance squads or a dance team where you're doing very young children that may be 24 months all the way up through high school students. And so you can get these exact same blanks for the little tykes as much as the older kids as well. And so there's a lot of great opportunity there.
Yeah, and I think it's also perfect for that trend that is the companion tees for mommy and me. That is perfect because they offer these styles not only in juniors and children's, but also in adult as well. So the mommy and me styles are very popular. We shared it last week for Mother's Day as an idea for those ideas. And then they also have cute styles for little boys as well.
Yeah, so this one was kind of a fun style, a different take on a onesie really, because it creates almost like a shorts for the little kid instead of it just being the cut of a standard onesie, and adds a pocket for some fun decoration as well. There's a lot of opportunity for decorating these types of things.
Yeah, and I like all the different print areas that you have here, so you don't have to just print the full front, but you have the pocket that you can print and also the leg as well, since they added the shorts on there.
Yeah, a lot of print locations. And something fun for boys, we see a lot of cute girls apparel if you're selling to the children's market. We don't usually see a lot of trendy items for that side of it, so it works well.
Right, and then that leads us into boxer craft and some of these different styles. So one of the always popular and always trending is the fan jersey.
Yeah, so a new version of that.
Right, so this is actually, it's usually like a 100% poly mesh fill, so it actually fills like a football jersey typically, but this one is more of an athletic fill. It's a lot lighter weight. It's not going to feel super heavy for any teams that might be printing this for camps this summer, and also for the fan wear in the fall. So this is going to be really easy to print with a lightweight heat transfer vinyl and feel very comfortable on there.
Yeah, it follows a lot of the trends that we see in the retail market when we're seeing that with professional sports and collegiate sports, where the garment it has that higher neckline, but it's still very soft, very lightweight, very slimming on a lady's figure, as well as some of that piping on the sleeves. And I think that's a garment that if you're going to be decorating for spirit wear in July, August for some fan wear options, it's a great choice for that, pairing with glitter flake or a foil or something.
Yeah, and then that also leads us to the blank behind you from Pennant Sportswear. So not only do we have the short sleeve version, but we also have a tank top version, and that is a style that's a lot like the other fan jerseys that we've always been seeing, but just a tank top version with a tapered side and the tail on the back, but it leaves you with a nice print area where you can apply heat transfer vinyl to without having to worry about the mesh, the holes in the garment. So that's another popular option as well for fan garments.
Yeah, so that pink one, if you haven't seen it yet, behind me, we actually just put a video on StahlsTV.com on Thursday, I think, last week, showing the look and how it was printed, so you can see more close-up shots of that and get to see the video firsthand.
Yeah, absolutely. And then we have a new style of the oversized t-shirt. So I'm a huge fan of this because I still really love those oversized t-shirts, very comfortable. But they actually took the seam. So typically with the oversized t-shirt, the seam that you're seeing here is usually right in the middle of the shirt, which makes it a little harder for printing. You always have to worry about working around that seam. So what they did was actually move this up a little closer to the collar, which is a trend that you see a lot in apparel. And then also we have quarter sleeves now. So perfect for summer and spring to still get that look, and it's not too heavy, and the sleeves are a little shorter, which is perfect for the weather.
Yeah, I think that's another one of those things that Boxercraft did really well. So, you know, one thing about the wholesale market versus the retail market is as soon as something hits retail anymore, the people want it in the wholesale market, especially if you kind of brought your brand into something that's a little bit more trendy and you're constantly trying to keep up with that. And they've done that. That's the same style of blank we see often in retail through Victoria's Secret or American Eagle and a lot of those trendier stores that offer the wholesale, the oversized shirt. So it's just a really fun, fitted, feminine look there for that one.
Yeah, absolutely. And then as you mentioned earlier with the cheer and dance wear, this is another fun blank garment that is going to be really popular for them. So it has the color block effect, but it is a zip-up hoodie that is short sleeve, so it fits like a tank. So we see this a lot, but this is different because it has the color block effect, and then it also has the zipper as well. So typically we don't see it with a zipper, we see it as just a tank top with a hood, but this is another really cool garment
yeah,
for
we're
that.
seeing a lot of that streetwear almost brought into that more feminine ladies garment. So it just creates a fun color. Of course, mint is not going anywhere.
Yes.
It's still an incredibly popular color for blank apparel and for decoration, and so there it is again.
Yep. And then with that, we also have short sleeve sweatshirts as well. So it's a little bit like that. It looks just like a t-shirt, but it has a sweatshirt feel to it. And then it has the cuff sleeves that are very popular as well.
Yeah, so it gives a style really for that athleisure market. So when I think of, you know, a sweatshirt, traditionally you always think of that as something that's more of a lounge piece. That maybe lounge around the house in. You may, in the earlier years, I guess, before athleisure became more of a trend, it was something that you didn't really wear as a fashion piece, where that one adds a fashionable cuff sleeve. It's a really fitted sweatshirt, but still incredibly soft and comfortable. So it fits so many different markets because it has that soft base to it.
Right, so you don't just have to choose one market to apply it to. It applies to all different kinds.
Yep, and each of those items are really incredibly easy to decorate. They're all a cotton or polyester base, and so they make for great blanks for heat printing on them too.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so that gives a couple things from Cavio, from Boxercraft. And then we wanted to share some pieces from Sanmar. And so Sanmar, our friends there always share some great insight on their Sanmar U channel that we've paired together with Project Press It on. And so what they shared with us were some things that really were unique to the type of buyer that you're selling to. And so this kind of covers children's apparel and some dance and some cheer and some ladies' garments. But they're also speaking to what they consider different types of buyers as far as their wants and their likes. So the futurist, the artist, and the individualist. And so we'll go ahead and we will talk through each of those styles here and just share some insight on them as well. So we'll start with the futurist. Well, this is where we're kind of pairing together futuristic elements with garment decoration and design and really creating more of a fashion forward or futuristic look. And so the first one is going to be this kind of welded mesh design here. And so this one is actually manufactured by Sanmar. It's in their Sport Tech line. And so if you're not familiar with their Sport Tech line, it creates an inexpensive, a more inexpensive blank, but gives you that high-end look that looks like something you may see in a retail store from Nike or Under Armour or some of those popular sportswear brands. And so I love the look of this mesh and how it just creates kind of a unique texture into the design and then pairs it with a solid base here. And so for decoration, with the mesh holes here, you really could get a neat texture on like a heat transfer vinyl on this. And if you're looking for more of a solid print, you can get that down the sleeves on that print area there.
Yeah, and I like how they still kept the trend of the high neck. So the scuba neck or the cow neck is still very popular. So I'm glad that they incorporated that still. So they have a trend down here with the mesh and kind of like the silver reflective behind it, but then also kept this trend as well. So I think that really plays into the futuristic apparel very well.
Yeah, and so it's a great blank to start with that kind of look, and then it really works well for, you know, it looks very sporty but still is pretty professional. So I could see pairing that together with a performance polo for work and it being incredibly professional. So even if you're decorating for more of a corporate market, that's a good opportunity for you. Or if you're doing for a sportswear market, it may be a good opportunity for maybe a local gym or a coach's jacket or something. There's a lot of opportunity there with that futuristic look.
And that's what customers are really looking for, something that's very transitional. So they don't have to wear a jacket for work. They can also have that same jacket and wear it to the gym or any activities that they're going to after work.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so I'm going to bring out a bunch of gray fun patterned items here and talk a little bit about these. And so we saw a little bit of pattern in that jacket, but really we're seeing a lot of these different textures and patterns brought throughout items, and so they create kind of like a motion in the garment by creating these blurred patterns throughout the digital camo or the heathered look or all of that throughout the items. And so we're getting some really fun prints here, and I like the colorways in this because when I think about selling currently to maybe a sportswear market or teams and camps and stuff, then I can actually choose maybe all three of these blanks and offer them all with the same decoration and really create some eye-catching things for camp wear or for performance wear that's just not at all in the marketplace today.
Right. And so I think this, all of these are going to be perfect for any market that you're reaching because like we mentioned with the jacket, they're all transitional. So it's not something you can just wear for sportswear. You can wear it if you're going shopping or what have you. And this is actually one of the t-shirts that I really like, because usually you're seeing these heathered sport or athletic t-shirts as something that's very boxy, but for the ladies, they have the tapered sleeve that's it makes it a really nice fit for not just wearing to the gym, but anywhere else too.
Yeah, so it makes a good blanket even to wear to work, more of a fashion garment, even though it's a polyester garment. And so let's talk a little bit about decorating these, because all of these are 100% polyester, and so they're really soft, very comfortable. They follow the athleisure trend that we've talked about for a year or two. But decorating these, you'll notice the inside of this one has the same color fabric as the outside, and so I'm not really worried about decorating this other than choosing a color and a design that works well with it.
Right. And for this one, you can either go with a really bright finish, or you can go with something that's a little more minimalistic. So you can tell based off of the trend that Sanmar has laid out for us, and the palette that they're going with is something minimalistic with grays and whites. So if you want to keep that effect, go with a white or black finish, or material that will really pop off the garment. Being that this is 100% polyester, you want to choose a material that is a low temp application, so you're not risking scorching the garment, so always be aware of that too.
Yeah, definitely some solid colors. Anything too much patterned or full color would be a little too much on these garments. And then we have these ones here, which are a little different. You'll notice on the inside of each of these styles, they're actually white. And so these would be what we would consider a high bleed sublimated garment. And so the first one was more of a low bleed. We're not really worried about it dyeing. The dye's coming through a heat transfer. But these I'd be definitely concerned, because the tops of the material were dyed after they were created. And so what do you recommend for decorating something like these?
I, again, would recommend something low temp, so you're not having such of a high risk of that dye migration, or going with a solid black color. So if you are going to have dye migration and you can't avoid that, black is going to keep any of that ink from showing through. And then we also have glaze, which is a perfect special effect for this, because the whole point of glaze, because it's translucent, is for getting that tone on tone effect. So even though it is bleeding through that, it's okay, because it's already a translucent material, but still gives it that really cool tonal effect.
Yeah, so glaze is a great option, and a solid black color really makes the graphic stand off anyways, when these bright, kind of these unique pattern shades, it can be a little bit overwhelming if the design's a little too detailed or a little too colorful graphically.
Right.
And so keeping with that futuristic design, we have one more garment we wanted to talk to for that type of customer, and that is this sweatshirt jacket here. So it's a heathered cotton sweatshirt jacket, and it has some really nice contrasting black throughout the base, as well as the zip up and the pockets there.
Right, and that's what makes this so unique, is that they chose a different color to make those pockets and the seams and the zipper really stand out. And that's what gives it that futurist look. So being able to choose really any heat transfer vinyl to go on this is really going to pull this all together. You can do a left chest, you can do the sleeve. They've made it unique with the different styles of seams. So they have this seam going from the sleeve across the back, which makes a really cool print area for you to take advantage of there, like printing a yoke there or something.
Yeah, and so one of the cool things about this is, just like with that first jacket we showed, it's transitional.
Right.
You know, we can wear it absolutely anywhere. So it works well for your corporate customers. It works well for anybody that you're selling to for fashion garments, for sportswear. I mean, it just kind of works for a lot of different markets, and it makes a really great capstone piece to keep into your line when you're selling to a lot of different types of customers.
Right.
All right, so that kind of covers that futuristic look. We've got a lot of grays, a lot of blurred patterns, charcoal, some of those really deep colors there, and they work for really great palettes. The next person we want to talk to is kind of the artist, and so I see this being really popular with that millennial generation.
Yes.
Some of the college age students or the high school age, where they're looking for something maybe that's they're more musical or more into the arts, and so this works well for that. I think we're seeing a lot of layering with this market as well.
Yeah, and I like this because you can pair two inexpensive blanks together and get a really high-end look. So this is something we're seeing a lot in retail. They're layering these two together. You can either put prints on the sleeves up here and then also on the blank. But pairing these together, no matter how you print them, is actually going to create add-on sales. So whenever I walk into a retail store, I see things paired together that completes the outfit, gives me an idea of how I can wear it. So I want to buy both, not just one or the other.
Right, so we can add decoration on both of these blanks. This shirt was just a Port & Company shirt from Sanmar, and the gray tank top is district made. So again, like you said, they're inexpensive, so they're just great pieces to pair together. We can even pair this together with maybe a hooded jacket that's a bit more oversized, and be able to decorate that jacket too and still reach that artist trend that's really popular, because they're pairing together a lot of just standard basic cotton hooded sweatshirts in a larger size, and then making it almost like a cardigan over the item. And so that's actually 3 items if we layer it that way, that you can print and sell to one customer. So that's great for a ladies look there that's layered. And then the men's look is another great option as well, especially if you're in that retail market and you're looking for ways to really stand out.
Yeah, so I like this because it takes a pattern and pairs it with a solid. So you have different options here. If you want a solid print, you have the sleeves. You have the option of printing the sleeve here, and then pairing a graphic on here that goes well with the sleeves.
Yeah, you don't have to get crazy with your graphics either. I mean, I can take the exact same color of ink or of a heat transfer vinyl and just do it across all the items. So let's say maybe I'm going to go with white across both of these items for a single color. I don't have to get crazy with multiple colors. I can just use the exact same material across the entire item. So
yeah, and it keeps that very low cost for anyone that would be printing a style like this. And also, you don't want to get too crazy with the graphic either, because this pattern is so vibrant and busy. You kind of want to keep your design pretty minimalistic to pair with it.
Yeah, and so if you're looking at any patterned blanks like these, really pairing it together with a solid in any way just completely changes the look of it, and it really makes more of a retail inspired design. And this is actually a performance shirt that you may sell to a again, the sportswear market or something for camps, but you can even sell it when you pair it like this. It looks like a totally different garment now.
It really does,
retail sector. And so we see a lot of people today that are starting to sell more in the pop-up shops type situation, where they're selling apparel very quickly and they want to just create eye-catching retail displays. That creates it. It takes that really bold pattern, it mixes it with the solid, and creates something like you would see in retail. So those are 2 looks when we're looking at the artist. So when we think about that market that's kind of going towards more music, more arts, I'm thinking layering. I want to do multiple layers, and I want to take the opportunity to package together those layers so I can increase my sell. So instead of just selling them that t-shirt or that tank top, I want to sell them all 3 of the items: the tank top, the t-shirt, and the jacket.
Absolutely.
And so that's great when you're taking that trend and being able to increase your sell that way. And then the last one we're going to look at is actually the individualist. So the idea of taking some of these staple pieces and pieces that you're selling to different markets and making it your own. And we see that with a lot of these, like this knit jacket.
Yeah, so this to me is something that can easily be paired with a graphic t-shirt underneath with a pair of jeans. But then if it's if you want to wear it like that, it's also corporate apparel as well. So if you wanted to put a Left Chest logo on there and sell it to corporate, you can do it both ways.
Yeah, since it's actually a knit jacket, it's incredibly soft. It's easy to decorate, especially with the heat press. We see a lot of people going towards heat transfers on these, especially like in a patch type round, where they're looking for creating some more of a retro look really on these knit jackets. And so one popular material for that type of thing would be to use a twill. So this is actually, that's CAD Prints perma twill. So it's actually a printed twill material that you can do full color on. So something like that, taking that type of transfer and getting that raised twill material on the fabric, and that one's a solid perma twill, but there's even a texture twill that creates a grainy feature almost that kind of, to me, it gives an appearance of
like an embroidered patch. Yeah,
absolutely. So that's a great staple piece, whether you're selling to, look again, transitional. We're looking for items that go from the corporate market to different markets, like the more casual, something to wear anywhere.
Right, and then that brings us to another piece that reaches different markets as well. So this would be, according to Sanmar, a very popular look for retail. So again, with patches, adding things to the sleeves and the left chest, and pairing a color block effect with another color block effect. So we have the color block t-shirt with the black on top and gray underneath to pair with this as well.
Yeah, and so what's interesting is we're seeing, again, another incredibly sporty look that for years has been the varsity jacket. Everybody wears them if you're a varsity player in a sports team, but we're seeing this brought into fashion where now it's taking that, adding some fashionable elements, whether it's foil or glitter or patches, and making a fashion piece that pairs together with a standard t-shirt. And this is just a cotton jacket, so it's incredibly easy to print.
Right. So I like that, again, it's transitional between markets. So if you wanted to incorporate this into sports with all of the camps that are going on during the summer, leads right into the fall sports, that's a great option for them too.
Absolutely. So the last item, again, we're looking at pieces that we sell to current markets and figuring out ways to transition them into the trends that we're seeing. And so this is actually a just a standard knit button-up sleeveless shirt. So you may sell this into the workwear market, but for men's apparel, for this more individualized customer, they're looking for ways to take this and maybe put some branding of their own on here and then pair it with a graphic t-shirt underneath in another dark shade. And that's another thing we're noticing about a lot of these garments is, again, they're dark bases. And so we're going to take a bright color on these and we're going to make it stand out with this dark palette as a base.
And this is a very like retro style that we're seeing a lot in retail stores now. So being able to make it more fashionable by cuffing up the sleeves gives it a retail look as opposed to a corporate look or a business look that you see these typically in. And then pairing it with a solid t-shirt that you can put a graphic on is perfect for that as well.
Agreed. All right, I think we only have one other piece here we want to cover for the individualist, and that is kind of the idea of distressed, kind of garment dyed grunge type look. And I think we shared that a few times in trends earlier this year on the morning show that distress was going to be popular, but the heathering and the fabric of this OGO jacket from Sanmar, again, has that same scuba high neck there, but what we're seeing is a lot of the distressed washing on this garment. It creates just a really cool look for a customer, and you can create some unique designs. Again, bright colors, dark shades, all of that works well with this.
And it fits the individualist niche because it is so unique. It has the unique seams that are going across the shoulder like the jacket we saw earlier, and that seems to be a really big trend too.
Yeah, so another great piece there from Sanmar and the folks at OGO with that one. A lot of different ways to use it really to reach different customers. So we've got a lot of different markets here. I think we've had a lot of questions coming in on Facebook, maybe a few on GoTo meetings, so we'll go ahead and take some of those. Let's check Facebook first here.
So who carries the fringe tanks? That is Cavio.
Yep, so all the fringe tanks here from Cavio. I think we have a couple other questions on where these items are from. So all of the colorful items in the children's apparel on this side was from Cavio. And then all of these fanwear jacket, or the fanwear shirt, and all of the items that we saw over here, the sleeveless shirt, the new oversized shirt, as well as the short sleeve sweatshirt were from Boxer Craft. And then all of the items that we had shown from the rack over here, whether it was some of the unique patterns and print type stuff that's performance wear, the OGO items, the Sport Tech line, all of that came from Sanmar. And then thank you very much, Hannah. I see you work for a local sports team dealer and love Stahls and the customization ideas. We appreciate you tuning into the morning show here and using our products. And then any advice on heat pressing flock onto fleece? And so fleece is incredibly challenging to decorate. It definitely recommends on the, or it definitely depends on the pile of the fleece that you're decorating. So a cotton fleece sweatshirt with a very low pile, you won't have challenges decorating, but if it's a high pile jacket or a vest or a blanket, the only real recommendation for heat printing is to try to isolate the print area as much as possible, because when it's that high pile fleece, any heat application, whether it's flock or any other product, is going to push down that pile and you're going to get more of a scorched, smashed look. And so I always recommend just trying to isolate that as much as possible. So if your graphic is, let's say 6x8, I would cut a print perfect pad to a 6x8 pattern and make it so that that's the only area that hits the heat press and is only raised up.
Yeah, I actually met a customer in Atlantic City that was cutting mouse pads to isolate that. So that was pretty funny to me, and also like a unique way to really isolate that.
Yeah,
so
that's really the only way that we found successfully to do it with those high pile fleece. Joe, have we had any questions coming in on GoToWebinar at all?
Yeah, going way back to the beginning on the beach bag, they'd like to know what color the glitter flake is.
That is aqua, correct?
Looks
or
like
jade.
jade, yeah.
Jade, it's jade, yeah. Jade glitter flake.
And
Actually pairs perfectly with mint.
Yes, it does.
And also, if you could give the item number of the 3 gray shirts that you held out together, in particular the one that is at the front of that stack.
We can, and so I think you have
That one is ST390, and these are all on Sanmar. So the ST390 for the heathered. This one is ST330.
And then the last one was...
And the last one is ST370.
So all of those items are available from Sanmar. Looks like we got all the questions. All right, we appreciate you guys joining us for today's morning show. Jenna and Courtney S. are going to be back next week to share some more tips with you guys, and we look forward to seeing you then. See you later.
See ya.